Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Thank you all for being here today. It's been like a really crazy day for a Monday, and I'm just trying to unwind from it. I wanted to be here earlier, to be on here earlier, but it's so uh, many things I'm trying to get off my plate, etc., and so forth. But thank you guys for being patient and showing up. Thank you all who just subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate that. And I hope these messages that I am sharing with you about my own past situations and experiences will help you with your experiences. And if you're going through any type of grief, pain, trauma, perhaps what I'm sharing as to what I've already gone through and how I'm getting through things. Perhaps it can resonate within your own situation, and you can apply some of the things that I'm sharing here, and it can help you. All I can tell you is that it takes time. It's not an overnight healing and getting through these things, because it didn't take overnight for the pain and the trauma and all these things to take place within our life, you know? And it takes one day at a time, one step at a time. So never rush yourself, never rush the process, and just, never give up on yourself, investing in you. Excuse me. I hope everyone had a great day and that things were going well with you, and that you guys are taking care of yourself. Please take time out, 2 hours a day for yourself to self invest, because as you invest in yourself, by taking care of yourself, and there's no one way to do that. Just music, being out in nature, having time alone, to do the things that you like, that makes you feel good about yourself and that uplift you. Do those things. Take an hour, 2 hours a day, regardless of what's going on in your busy schedule, because it's so important that we invest in ourselves, our mental and physical health, because without that, we can't do anything else. Once we take care of that and make that a priority, everything else will start to fall into place. I'm living proof of that. And please, for newcomers, please watch my prior videos, because I discuss in those videos some really intense things that affected my life and how I got through them, especially the grief and the losses, because the void that you feel within you because of those losses, I have to work through those things one day at a time, one step at a time. So, and thank you for being here. And please realize that I'm not a social worker or a therapist of any sort. I'm someone who went through a lot of grief and pain and loss. And I talk about how I got through it without a support system. The only support system I had is God, And when I talk about support system, I mean in the physical, I didn't have anyone helping me. I had God help. And then I had to just maneuver my way around. And the first step that I took was therapy, because it's an outlet to discuss the pain. And then from there, I just started to find creative ways to, put myself first instead of being subservient to other people, and never to neglect myself. That's so important when you get on this journey to heal all this grief, pain, and trauma. So, with that being said, this is also a no judgment zone. We don't come here to judge people, to condemn them to hell, or any of that. And anyone who's on that train, please don't show up at this channel, because we are a no judgment zone channel here. And it's about building up, helping people. It's enough of that other stuff in this world already, the toxicity, the negativity, all the craziness. If you're into that, you can watch that on a reality show, but it doesn't belong here on this channel. So, with that being said, again, I'm going to get into the title of the discussion today, which is what it means to be an empath. And I'm going to talk about that because some people may not know about that. To me, to be an empath mean when I'll say what it means to me. When I have discussions with other people, men or women, about traumatic situations that they're going through, and things that's happening, when they're talking to me about these things, I can feel their pain. That's what being an empath means to me. I can feel actually what they're going through. And so when at that moment when I start feeling that way, I just start praying for them, asking God to help them, you know. And it's a couple of people right now um, that are very ill, and I've been praying for them and trying to help them, and um, and it just, I could feel everything that they're going through as they were discussing their situation with me. An empath to me is just, you can feel a lot of the whatever it is, especially when it comes to pain and all this other stuff. One of the things about myself is that I cannot be in a crowd for more than 2 hours or so. I can't be out, and because I start to feel all these different, I don't know how to explain it, but anybody who know what an empath is and consider themselves to be one, they know what I'm talking about. I can't at this point in my life, after doing a lot of healing from the point of 2020 up until now, I'm still healing from things. I can't take in a lot of toxicity and negativity and whatever else on a negative that people got going on. I will say how I feel about certain things, address it, try to work things out, and establish boundaries. But when people keep crossing boundaries and trying to bring toxicity to my table, then what I do, I'm not going to ride the wheel, and I'm not going to keep riding on the same wheel. What I end up doing is cutting off, blocking, and delete. And what I'm noticing and finding out, that some people from the past are surprised about this. They shouldn't be surprised. You keep hitting and poking a sleeping bear, it's going to get up and it's going to react. And in my case, the reaction is to let go so that I can move on. It's important for me, what I've been learning, especially as I do the work within therapy and the work I do on my own, do meditation, music, my relationship and prayers with God, and being into nature, is to let go. When you can't force people to do what you want them to do, or, you can't, if you're in a situation where you've established boundaries, you set boundaries because you need to go on a healing journey to heal some things in your life that cause a lot of scars and hurt and pain, then you have to set boundaries. And when someone is not respecting those boundaries, excuse me, I give them a chance. I reiterate those boundaries again. And we're going to sit and go over this one more time, and if it continues, then it's disrespect. And so I cut off, block, and delete because I have no tolerance at that point. And as a empath and a person who feels a lot and all of this, and stay in prayer and try to help others, as God helped me as well, I don't have time for toxicity. We all have something, and I don't mean some dumb disagreement or something like that, but somebody who is so envious that they want to bring the drama to your front door. They want to bring the toxicity and drag you into it. That's why I end up cutting off, block, delete. I have no, I have zero tolerance for it. And when I set the boundaries, and if they keep being crossed over and over again, I just cut off, block, and delete. It doesn't matter who they are. They can be family members. They can be somebody I grew up with, and we call ourselves family, whatever. But if it's not being respected, the boundaries, and they just feel like they can do whatever, cut off, block, and delete is my motto now. And I don't feel any kind of way about it because I'm just as important as the next person. My mental, physical health and my growth and healing is everything to me. And I'm saying to those out there who are taking on the path to heal, It's important to set those boundaries. And not everyone is going to understand that. Not everyone is going to understand that you need to go and heal, especially if you're an empath where you feel everything. If you have some kind of disagreement with someone, or someone's bullying you or whatever, all those negative, toxic things you feel within, and you feel them deeply within. And to keep taking that on and on and on without healing that and setting boundaries, it will mess up your mental and physical health, which is everything, And so I chose to heal it. And respect is a big thing with me. And people don't have to like you or understand what you're doing when you go on this healing journey, but they have to respect it and the boundaries that you put into place. And if they don't respect that, I would go over that again with them to reiterate those boundaries so that they do understand. And if it continue after that, then I have no more to say about it except for the cut off, block, and delete. It's important, people, to heal these pains and hurts, you know. And anybody that wants you to stay in a place of brokenness, hurt, pain, they need to go and heal, ask God to help them, because that's not how this works. We need to heal, and we can heal, And one of the places that I always encourage everyone to start is with therapy. Because, like I said, life and these problems that we encounter and the hurts and scars, it doesn't come with an instruction book. So sometimes we have to initiate things by taking steps, towards putting ourselves back together again. And one of the steps that I suggest is therapy. Googling a therapist in the area where you live, and maybe Google a few of them and see which one you vibe with and start there. That's what I did. Because, like I said, it's like having a whole box of pieces of puzzles. As you open that box and turn over the pieces of puzzle, and it's all laid out on the table, you can't see what the picture is until you started putting those pieces together one by one. And then you start to see the outline of what the picture is within that puzzle. And that's how it is when it comes to grief and pain and hurts and losses and scars within, and all of it, just one day at a time, one step at a time, don't rush the process. And as you do therapy and start opening up to your therapist and talking about these things, that's an outlet for the pain. But not only is it an outlet for the pain, it's also a way for you to find ways creatively to self-care. And as you start to self-care and take care of your physical and mental health, through music, um, just spending some time alone in meditation, whatever gift that you have. Like some people know how to play the piano, just sitting playing a piano, that could be therapeutic. Listening to a playlist of music, spending time with a pet, volunteer at your favorite charity. These things that you love and that you engage in and you take time for yourself to do these things, it builds you up. And then as you get built up little by little, you start to self-care, and that self-care turns into self-love. And you want to take care of yourself. You want to do better. Make sure your health, your physical and mental health is being taken care of on a regular basis instead of being neglected like I used to do, because I was busy being subservient to what everybody else had going on. And I learned to flip the script and turn that back on me to take care of me so that I can be built up. And that's important, people. It's not selfishness. It's something that we all need to do to make sure that we are okay. Um, I'm going to tell you guys about an experience. I have some notes here about a passed over relative. Um, I can, loss to me really affects me so much, especially as an empath. Um, I have an aunt on my father's side that I was so close to, guys. We used to talk about 3 times a week, and I never knew until the end that she had lung cancer. spend time with her. She was one of my favorite aunts. Um, Very businesslike. She would share some things with me on, when I first was starting out with my own small business, and she was talking to me about what to do, what to add, how to enhance things. She was so, like, she used to be an attorney, and she got very ill, and I didn't know. We were talking all the time until she was in hospice. And she was in and out of the hospital. There would be times I didn't hear from her or couldn't get her, but she wanted, I don't know why. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? And I was so upset and hurt. But one of the things that she said to me in one of our last conversation, and I said, this is not okay. I was so hurt and crying hysterically. And she said to me, even though I'm not here in the flesh, I vow to you, Lisa, I'm going to be here in the spirit, and I'm going to always be with you. And I'm going to be always there to help and protect you. And I thought that was kind of odd when I heard that. But I'm going to tell you something. Some people may not believe it, but I swear I'm telling the truth. One night, me and my son, because when she passed away, I think he was 15, something like that. We were sitting watching a movie, and then he got up to go to the bathroom or do something. And when my aunt passed away, she was in hospice, and she was in a hospital gown. One of the things that the family does that I don't like is take pictures of them after they pass and send it to everybody's phone. And I tell them that that is not a tradition, that should be stopped altogether, because I don't like that. But anyway, I saw like an apparition of her in her hospital gown standing in the doorway of my bedroom. And I'm like, this is weird. And I'm like, and then she smiled and disappeared. And then shortly after that, I started to see evidence of what she was saying. But certain things would be happening in my life, and it would just disappear. I don't know how to explain that to you guys. You have to like go through it to know what I'm talking about. And she said, I'm going to be there no matter what. And I could always feel her presence around me shortly after she passed away, you know. And I just, the time that we spent together, I learned so much from her, and I see where I get certain things from as well within my own life, that I get it from this particular auntie, who I admired so much. And it was just hard, to lose that. But just losing any loved one, because some of our family members were the matriarchs, like my grandparents and mom was the matriarchs of the family. They were the glue that kept the foundation together. And when they all died off, everything started to fall apart again, you know. Um, I don't know what else to say about that, because some people don't believe in that. But what I'm saying is what I saw was real, And even with my father, when he passed away like 2 years before I had my son. And he was talking to me. For some reason, he always felt like, because everybody else um, were married, my siblings, whatever. And I was the one who marched to the beat of a different drum. I'm going to say it like that. And he always was worried about me, and even said that he would be there after he's gone, and I never understood that. I'm like, what does he mean he's going to be there after he's gone? I may not be there in the flesh, but in the spirit, I always will be around you. And I believe that. And right now, what I do, guys, I look at new beginnings. I new beginnings. Anything old and toxic in my life, I just, you know, leave it behind. And it was hard for me to do that, to leave these things behind, all the toxic things that's been taking place in my life. I would get so angry about it. But now what I do, I transmute energy to God. When I pray and meditate, I take all those things to God, especially, when these things are unjustifiable, because I'm always in my space, in my corner, building me up, taking care of me. And so when someone try to bust in and whatever, then I just go into prayer with God and ask God, to take these things, these burdens. And once you give it to God, He's got the rest. And then what I do sometimes is just, how these stories come on about like Samson, Job, and things like that. And I think about everything that Job, the story of Job, everything that he lost. He was tested until he was just near death. And then everything that he lost, God gave it back to him a hundredfold, more than what he had in the beginning. And and I learned to put my trust in God. And when I talk about God, it's not I'm not religious. I don't sit in a church every week and blah blah. And I don't feel I need to do that to have a relationship with God. You really don't. As long as you talk to Him like you would if your earthly father was here. And I talk to Him, and God answers my prayer, because I'm not sitting here in the background trying to set somebody up for failure and do things to people just because I don't like somebody or whatever. And when people are out there doing that, do unto others what you want done unto you, because that same energy that you put out there is coming back to you. That's how it works in this universe, the world we live in. You put out negativity, drama, and toxicity, and you just want to bully somebody, set them up for failure, tear them down, do all this, blah, blah, etc. That's what you're manifesting. And all those things are going to come right back to you, to your front door. And especially if a person has cultivated and built up a relationship with God, and they're not bothering you, they're just doing them and taking care of themselves and in their own space. All of that energy, that negativity and toxicity is going right back to you. It's going to bounce off that person and it's going to go right back to you. And really, when it, the saying is, do unto others what you want done unto you, because you're manifesting a negativity which is going to go back. So people, be careful out here that you're not setting someone up or doing anything, to hurt others unjustifiably, just because. And this is another reason why I cut off so many people out of my life, because these people were there, their intentions were unpure, were impure. They were not there for the right reasons. And people who are slackers and want people to take care of them because they don't want to work and take care of themselves. So they do a premeditated plot, a plan to enter somebody's life under a deception so that they can try to get that person to take care of them, things like that. And that's where our intuition come into play. When things are not right and things are like twisted up, use your intuition, because it's never going to lead you in the wrong direction. Like if somebody coming into your life to play a game with you or to try to do some kind of deep deception of some sort, a red flag will show up, and you have to pay attention to those red flags, because if you ignore those red flags because, oh, this person, blah, blah, and your intuition is trying to tell you, a red siren is going off about this particular individual or situation, you have to use your intuition and listen to it, because if you ignore it, you could walk into a trap that you can't get yourself out of. So I've learned, not only through prayer, but I've learned to listen to my intuition. And I'm not talking about something little. I'm talking about it's going off like a red flag. It's like a siren going off and telling you, look, this is a problem. It's like touching a fire and expecting not to get burned. And I start to listen to the intuition. And then when I see certain patterns and etc. and so forth, I cut off, block, and delete, because those things can bring really serious problems into your life. People always stay in a place of meditation and prayer and listening to your intuition, because it's never going to lead you down the wrong path. It's actually going to save you from a lot of heartache, pain, and deceptions. Because everybody is not who they say they are. Some people like to premeditate deceptions and create deception so that they can get into your life, not for good reasons. And this is why I take my time with everything that I do, so that I can see, what it is, and not what I want it to be. I used to always be a person in the past where, okay, I can help this person change for the better. You can't help anyone who don't want to change and who don't want to do better. There's people out there with negative intentions, just trying to, and you have to see it for what it is, you know. And as an empath, like I talk about being an empath, I can feel those things. I can feel when something is not right. Let me give you an example. One of the things my mother used to say to me all the time, and I used to just get exasperated with her because you should be doing this and this. And she would just share her experiences with me, but in the way she was sharing it, it felt like nagging to me. And a lot of times I did hear what she said, but I just didn't want to be bothered with it. I remember a time that my son must have been about 7 or 8, and she called me about something, and she was telling me it wasn't going to work out because I was doing A, B, C, and D, and I should be doing E, F, G, and H, right? And she went on and on for about an hour. I put the phone down, cooked dinner, and came back. She was still on the phone. I hung up. Hour later, she called me back and said, like I was saying, and I was like, OMG, because I just didn't want to hear it. But after she passed away, guys, and the things that she taught me and told me to do, I really started to implement them in my life and put them together, and follow what she said, because I really did hear it. My subconscious mind heard everything that she said. And as I started to do that, I started to see a positive difference in my life, you know. My mother would tell me some things about, you have to do this. Like, for example, I'm going to talk about how I know that their spirit, my mother and grandmother's spirit and grandfather's spirit, is still there. Um, I had something, I was looking up a service, right? Because I need to pay for something. And it was actually someone that I know gave me a referral to the service that they use. However, when I called that place and we were talking, it was too expensive. But I was irritated because I had looked up a couple of places before, and I just didn't want to take the time because of my busy schedule to look for something else. But I kept, even when I went to sleep, I kept hearing my mother's voice, my grandmother's voice: do not pay for that service, it's too expensive. And I said, well, you know what? I just want to get it over with because I don't want to sit down and try to find another company to take care of this. Every time I tried to rest or do anything, that voice in my head: don't pay for that, it's too expensive. Even when I went to sleep, I could see my grandmother, my mother, telling me, don't do this. To the point that I had to sit down and I investigated and found another company where I saved 200 something dollars from what the other companies wanted. And then I said, thank you, because I couldn't rest until I did that. And and that made me know that my mom's spirit, my grandparents' spirit, and my aunties are around me. Because if I even look like I'm gonna make a mistake, it's like a siren of some sort goes off within me. And I sat down and found that and got that out of the way, and I was very happy about the price I had to pay, and that I didn't use the other service. So that's in those ways that I see getting help, and God helping me too as I reach out to Him and being sincere about the things that I need and what I'm doing. God will never let you down, because if He is for you, people, then who can be against you? It doesn't matter. You're always going to have haters out there, especially when you're trying to help others and lift people up. There's always going to be somebody hating on you somewhere. I learned to tune that out, because it's always going to be that no matter what you do in life, and I tune it out and keep moving forward. And on your path of healing, keep moving forward. You're going to fall down. It's okay. Let yourself fall, but get back up and get back on the bandwagon and keep going. Keep moving forward, because your physical and mental health and healing is everything else, it's everything. And don't let anybody sway you to tell you you don't have to do that. It's important to make that a priority regardless of the noise. I learned to tune that stuff out. And as you do these things, guys, the other thing I want to say to you is live your life to the fullest. And for those who especially lost a lot of loved ones and people in their life, you're going to always feel a void from the loss, but you can get through it. And your loved ones, passed over loved ones, will always want you to live your life to the fullest and not be depressed for the rest of your life that they're no longer here. Live your life to the fullest instead of just existing. And I look forward to embracing new beginnings, new friendships, and possible relationship at some point in time. But things for me, I take my time with it. I don't rush into anything and make impulsive decisions like I was trying to do this weekend, but I'm glad I didn't do it. But just one day at a time, people, take one step at a time and do things that make you feel good, about your life and about, what you're doing. And just keep moving forward. And know you're going to have those good days where you feel really good. And then you're going to have days where you don't even feel like getting out of bed, because sometimes you get trigger moments of grief. And that's okay. I had one about 4 days ago, and it can hit you at any given moment. But what I learned to do is look up those trigger moments of grief, because I didn't understand it until I start to do research on these things. And things that you don't understand, research them, look them up, see, so that you can learn more about it, especially things that affect your life in a negative, so that you know more about it, so that you can get a handle and a grasp on these things. So, guys, that's the message today. Please share these videos with other people. Some days the videos are going to be intense and other days not so intense. And whoever needs to hear these messages, please do so. Subscribe to the channel, because I can't really give you a time as to when I'm going to be on, but I will be here Monday through Friday. I just can't say exactly a time. But if you subscribe, you will always get a notification as to when I'm on. And one other thing that I want to say to you before I close this message today: learning to keep your private business to yourself is priceless. I used to be, excuse me, guys, cranberry juice. I used to share everything with people. Keep your business to yourself, because you could be sharing information with somebody who's envious and jealous of you, somebody who's a secret hater and trying to find ways to knock you down. Keep your business to yourself, and trust those you can trust. That's what I do. I don't share my personal business when I'm on Facebook. I used to share things there. The only thing I'm going to share there is something about a dog video, because I love watching dog videos, or something I'm watching, but I don't share my personal business. It's important that we don't do that, because you could be sharing information with the wrong person that could bring some negativity to your life. So please keep these things in mind and show up again tomorrow for a new video, because if this didn't resonate with you today, something might resonate with you tomorrow. And thank you all for being here, and you have a great Monday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.